So in today's video, I have for you what I believe to be currently the 8 best no annual fee credit cards for 2023. If you're brand new to the credit card space and you're looking on what direction to take or where to get started, or you've been in the space for quite some time and you're just looking for a good next credit card to pick up, then this video definitely has something for you. I'll be showing you that you do not need credit cards with an annual fee in order to maximize your earning potential and get some great value out of the credit card game. So starting things off with credit card number 1, we have the Bank of America Customized Cash Rewards Card. And starting things off, this credit card is going to come with a $200 cashback sign-up bonus after you spend $1,000 in the first 3 months of account opening. And taking a look at some of the earnings for this credit card, you're going to be able to earn 3% back in the category of your choosing, which is going to include things like gas, online shopping, dining, travel, and a few others as well. Next up, you're also going to be able to get 2% back at things like grocery stores as well as wholesale clubs, so things like Costco or Sam's Club. And lastly, earn 1% back on everything else with this credit card. Now, I will say that personally, the only con that I actually have with this credit card is that your 2 and 3% back is only going to be on the first $2,500 in combined spending across those different categories per quarter. So once you've hit that combined $2,500 across those different categories for that quarter, you're only going to be earning 1% back for the rest of that quarter until the new quarter starts, where you'll be earning the 3 and 2% back once again. And in terms of selecting which category you want to earn 3% back in, it's going to be super simple. So all you have to do is go online to the Bank of America app or the website, and you can choose which category you want to earn 3% back in, and you can change that once a month. So if 1 month, for example, you want to earn 3% back on dining, but the next month you want to earn 3% back on online shopping, it's super simple, and all you have to do is go online or to the Bank of America app once a month to choose that. Lastly, if you are a Bank of America preferred member, you do have the ability to earn anywhere between an extra 25 to 75% cashback value. So that means that your 3% cashback could be worth anywhere between 3.75 and all the way up to 5.25% cashback. Next up, for card number 2, we have the Citi Custom Cash Card. And with this, you're going to be able to get a $200 cashback sign-up bonus after spending $1,500 within the first 6 months of account opening. So definitely a very easy sign-up bonus to hit. And they even give you 6 months to hit it, so you should have no problem at all doing that. And for the earnings of this card, it's going to be very simple and straightforward, and you're going to be getting 5% back on your highest eligible spend category each month for the first $500 spent. And those eligible categories do include things like gas stations, grocery stores, transportation, and a few others that I'll go ahead and put up on the screen. But essentially how that works is that each month, whatever you spend the highest in for the eligible categories, you're going to be earning 5% back on the first $500 spent. So my recommendation for this credit card would be to just use it as a one category specific card. So for example, if you want to use this as your grocery credit card, then only use it on groceries, and that's going to allow you to make sure that you're locking in that 5% back on one specific category, and you're going to be able to maximize that earning potential, knowing that you're going to be getting 5% back on that $500 spent. Additionally, one more thing to keep in mind is that, well, yes, the Citi Custom Cash is a cashback credit card. It actually earns your cash back in the form of Citi thank you points, and all that is a flexible point currency, meaning that if you have the Citi Custom Cash alone, you're going to be able to redeem those Citi thank you points for things like cashback or statement credits. But if later down the line you decided to pair this up with the Citi Premier card, you can actually take those Citi thank you points, transfer them over to the Premier card, where you can then use them for travel or transfer them out to airline or hotel partners. Now, the third credit card on this list is going to be coming from an issuer that I think a lot of people either overlook or forget about, and that's going to be the US Bank Altitude Go card. So starting things off, you're going to be able to earn a 20,000 point sign-up bonus after spending only $1,000 in the first 3 months of account opening. And if we're keeping things simple at 1 cent to 1 point valuation, that's going to give you a total value of $200. Now, going over to the earnings of this credit card, it's going to earn you a very impressive 4x back on dining, takeout, and delivery services. And then you're going to be able to earn 2x back on streaming services, grocery stores, as well as gas station and EV charging, and then 1x back on everything else. Now, with this credit card, I do think it is important to mention that even though you are earning points or miles back and not straight up cash back, US Bank does not offer any transfer or travel partners with this credit card. So if you did want to redeem those points or miles for travel, you're going to be a little bit more limited on the value you can get out of them, since you're only going to be able to redeem them through their travel portal. So you're going to be capped out at about 1 cent to 1 point value on those points. But if travel isn't really your thing and you want to focus just more on cash back, that you can also just redeem those points for cash back or a statement credit, and you'll still be able to get 1 cent per 1 point. Now, I know this may be a con to some, especially when you compare it to something like the American Express Gold Card that also earns 4x back in some similar categories like dining. And since the Amex Gold Card allows you to use transfer partners, it gives you a little bit more flexibility on how you can actually use your points and get value out of your points. But let's remember that the Gold Card comes with a $250 annual fee, while the US Bank Go Altitude Card comes with a $0 annual fee, and it still gives you 4x back on dining, which is some of the highest on the market and a very strong competitor. So I do still think that you can find very immense value out of the US Bank Go card, especially if you are someone who doesn't want to pay annual fees and you still spend a lot on dining or eating out. Then this is definitely a very solid option for you. Moving on to credit card number 4, we have the Capital One Savor One Rewards card. And with this, you're going to be able to get a $200 cashback sign-up bonus after spending only $500 in the first 3 months of account opening. So a very simple, easy sign-up bonus to actually hit and achieve. And with this credit card, you're going to be able to earn unlimited 3% back on dining, grocery stores, streaming services, 8% back on Capital One Entertainment, which is going to include things like live concerts and or live events, and then 1% back on everything else. And on top of all of that, right now through 2024, Capital One is actually going to give you a free Uber One membership, so you can get things like free delivery as well as discounted food, and you also get the ability to earn a very, very impressive 10% back on Uber purchases. So that's going to include either Uber Eats or Uber Ride, which is the highest earning I've ever seen on a credit card for this specific category, and a very impressive, immense value overall. Lastly, you can also earn 5% back on travel booked in the Capital One travel portal. And in my opinion, Capital One has stepped it up a lot recently and in recent years with their travel portal. And it's a pretty solid option if you're just paying cash for travel and not using any points or miles. Plus, if you do find your booking cheaper somewhere else within the first 24 hours, Capital One will actually price match that for you. So you can still earn your 5% back and get that lower price. Overall, I think the Capital One Savor One Rewards card is an absolute powerhouse, especially for those dining and grocery categories. And for a credit card with no annual fee, I think it's an absolute no-brainer. Up next for card number 5, we have the Chase Freedom Flex. And with this credit card, similar to the other credit cards on this list, you're going to be able to get a $200 cashback sign-up bonus after spending $500 in the first 3 months of account opening. And that's going to come in the form of 20,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points. And for the earnings of this credit card, you're going to be able to get 3% back on dining, takeout, and delivery, 3% back at drugstores, 5% back on travel booked in the Chase travel portal. But where this credit card really shines is going to be you get to earn 5% back on rotating quarterly categories for the first $1,500 spent in those categories. And essentially what that's going to look like is each quarter, Chase is going to come out with these different rotating categories for you to enroll in, and you're going to be able to earn 5% back for the first $1,500 spent in those categories. For example, currently now through the end of September, those 5% categories are going to include gas stations and EV charging, but in the past have included things like wholesale clubs, fitness memberships, and even Amazon. I mentioned how your sign-up bonus is going to come in the form of Chase Ultimate Reward points, and similar to the Citi Custom Cash that we talked about earlier, this credit card also earns your cash back in the form of those Chase Ultimate Reward points. And again, that's just a flexible point currency, meaning that if you want to use this credit card for cash back or statement credits, you can, or you can actually use those points for stuff like travel within the Chase travel portal. Or if you even wanted to take things a little bit further and pair this up with the Sapphire Preferred, for example, you can transfer all of those Chase points over to the Sapphire Preferred and then redeem them for travel with either an extra 25% boost within the Chase travel portal, or you can use them and transfer them out to one of Chase's airline or hotel partners and get between 1.5 and even up to 3 cents per point on those ultimate reward points. Now, really quickly, I do want to mention that I know I talk a lot about Chase credit cards here on the channel, but that is because I truly do believe that Chase offers not only some of the best and most versatile credit cards on the market, but they have a very wide lineup of credit cards to choose from no matter what your goals are with credit cards. And like I mentioned earlier, their ecosystem of credit cards works really well together, especially if you wanted to pair this up with some of the other credit cards and create something like the Chase trifecta that you may have heard of as well. Next up, we have the Bilt MasterCard, and this right here, in my opinion, is going to be an absolute essential for anyone who is currently renting. And that is because not only are you going to be able to pay your rent with this credit card with no additional fees or charges like you would get with a traditional credit card, but you're also going to be able to earn 1 point for every $1 spent on your rent as well. And since rent or living expenses tend to be one of the categories people spend the most amount of money on each month, then I think it's definitely a no-brainer to at least try to maximize that and at least earn 1 point for every dollar you spend on that rent. On top of earning 1x back on rent, this credit card does also come with some other pretty decent categories like 3x back on dining and then 2x back on travel. And Bilt takes this even a step further, and on the first of each month, or what Bilt calls rent day, those dining categories and travel categories are actually going to be doubled. So on the first of each month, you can earn 6x back on dining and a whopping 4x back on travel. Now, if all of that wasn't good enough on its own, with the Bilt MasterCard, it is actually one of only a few credit cards on the market that not only comes with no annual fee, but allows you to utilize travel partners. So what you can do with this credit card is take all of your Bilt points that you're earning from things like rent and dining, and you can then transfer them over to an airline or hotel partner where you can get anywhere between 1.5 and even up to 3 cents per point if you're booking those kind of longer international flights. And for this, Bilt does also offer a very impressive network of travel partners with things like Hyatt Hotels and American Airlines, which, if you didn't know, no other credit card on the market transfers directly to American Airlines. So with this, American Airlines is considered to be a very valuable travel partner. You can get a lot of value with that as well. So I do think that for anyone who is currently renting, not only is the Bilt MasterCard an absolute powerhouse where you can earn an immense amount of value, but I think that it is a essential for anyone who is renting and just a no-brainer credit card to have. For credit card number 7, we have the Amex Blue Cash Everyday, and in my opinion, this is another credit card that can tend to get a little bit overlooked or forgotten about at times. And with this credit card, you're going to be able to get 3% back on online shopping, 3% back at grocery stores, and then 3% back at gas stations for the first $6,000 spent in each of those categories per year. Now, yes, I know that at first 3% back on the first $6,000 spent in each category may not seem like a lot, but if you were to max out each one of those categories, that's the potential to earn $540 in cashback value each year, which is definitely some pretty solid value overall. You can also get a $200 cashback sign-up bonus after spending $2,000 in the first 3 months of account opening, and overall, I think this is just a very solid credit card to have, especially if your purchases that you're making maybe don't fall into one of the other higher earning categories that we talked about on any of the previous cards mentioned, or if maybe you're just doing some online shopping and you don't have another credit card that earns you more than 1.5 or 2% cash back, then this is a very solid option to have overall. And overall, I am a very big fan of American Express because not only do they tend to be a little bit more beginner friendly and a little bit more friendly with their credit card approvals, but they do also tend to be more generous with their credit limits limits. And even if you do get a lower starting limit, they are very infamously known for tripling those credit limits within the first couple of months. So even if you don't get a credit limit increase after using that credit card responsibly for a couple of months, you can actually go online and request a credit limit increase of up to 3 times your current credit card limit. And a lot of times those actually are approved. Now, for the 8th and final credit card, no list would be complete without a solid catch-all credit card. And for this, I also wanted to throw in a business credit card. So for the 8th credit card on the list, we have the Chase Business Inc. Unlimited. Now, with this card, you're going to be able to get a whopping $750 cashback sign-up bonus after spending $6,000 in the first 3 months of account opening, which is going to come in the form of 75,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points. And in terms of business card welcome sign-up bonuses, I know that $6,000 in 3 months seems like quite a bit of money, but that is actually a lot lower than most of the other sign-up requirements for business credit cards. And if you haven't heard me talk about all of the benefits of business credit cards here on the channel before, essentially with business credit cards, you're going to get 2 main big benefits. And the first is that not only do they typically come with higher or more elevated welcome offers like the one you see on this one here, but they do also tend to come with higher starting out credit limits, because with a business credit card, the issuer anticipates that you're going to be spending a lot more. So it's not uncommon to get a starting credit limit of at least $5,000 to $10,000 for your business credit cards. And just like the name suggests, you're going to be able to earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on all of your purchases with this credit card. So it's a very simple, straightforward to use catch-all credit card for any expenses that don't fall into one of those higher categories that we mentioned on any of the other cards previously. Now, originally I was going to put the Chase Freedom Unlimited as the catch-all card, and while I am still a very big fan of the Freedom Unlimited, and I think it's a great credit card to have overall, in my opinion, I think that Chase needs to kind of step up the 1.5% on the Freedom Unlimited and maybe bump it up to 2% cash back, because I think that Chase just offers a lot of other credit cards that also earn the same 1.5% cash back, like the Business Inc. Unlimited, or even some of their more beginner college and student credit cards also offer 1.5% cash back. So in my opinion, if you already have another Chase credit card like the Freedom Flex, where you earn the 3% back on dining as well as the 5% back on Chase Travel, and you're just solely looking for a catch-all credit card, then I think that the Business Inc. Unlimited could be a very solid contender and even better than the Freedom Unlimited in this case. But of course, if you don't already have another Chase credit card that earns you 5% back on Chase Travel or the 3% back on dining, then I would definitely look at the Freedom Unlimited. Otherwise, I think that the Business Inc. Unlimited can be a better value overall in terms of just catch-all credit cards. But that's going to be it for what I believe to be the current 8 best no annual fee credit cards on the market. But I'm definitely curious to know what you thought of the credit cards on this list, if you have any of them, or if you're looking on adding them to your credit card setup. So definitely let me know by leaving a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, I would appreciate if you could drop a like while you're down there as well, as it helps me and the channel out tremendously. And if you are new and are interested in more content just like this, where I talk about personal finance and credit card tips, then consider hitting that subscribe button so you never miss a new video. As always, each and every one of you are amazing, and I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day.